So the project manager is responsible for updating the Gantt chart. The rest of the team is responsible for doing the jobs assigned to them in the Gantt chart. So this is our Gantt chart. It's a spreadsheet. You'll have a copy of it, and you will need to start by setting it up. So there's a variables tab at the bottom, and in the variables, you can put the different people that are in your group and put their initials. So the initials should be, it can be 2 letters. So if somebody's name starts with an I for their first name, like myself, and an M for their last name, then you can put 2 letters, or you can put 3 letters. And if you have people with the same initials, then you'll want to use their middle name as well. You also need to double click in E1, and this is where you set the current date, and you need to find our starting date and select that starting date. When you have your people listed and your date set, then we're going to go to the bill of materials, and the bill of materials is blank. This is where we need to go to our elastic car. And in the elastic car, you want to use Alt-T to open up our tab manager. And in the tab manager, you want to select Assembly 1. And you can filter by clicking the assembly icon to find Assembly 1. Alt-T will also close the tab manager. So here I'm in Assembly 1. Over on the right is my bill of materials. So these are all the different parts that make this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the 3 dots at the top, and I'm going to select Copy Table. Now I can go back to my spreadsheet, and in my Bill of Materials tab, I can paste. So Control V or Edit Paste or right click, and there's all of my parts. Now, it will be helpful if we have the part name and the part number. So we are going to create a new column called full part, and in F2 we're going to type equals and start by typing CON, and you'll notice there's 2 options. So we use the down arrow to select concatenate and press the tab button. So this is a function, and in the function we've got a bracket. Now we can type C2, which is going to be the part number, comma, B2, and close the bracket and hit enter. And this is going to create all of the parts with the part number and the part name. Now, a trick that I find very useful is using your arrow key to move around. So if you move your arrow your arrow keys on your keyboard till you get to F2, and then hold down Shift and press the down arrow, it's fairly easy to select all of the different items. Control C will copy them. And now in our Gantt chart, so we'll click the tab to the Gantt chart, we'll go into A4, which is just below Manage, Control V, and whoops, that's not going to work. So what we'll do is under Edit, instead of Control V, we'll go Paste Special, and we'll choose Values Only, Control Shift V. And we can resize A by just holding your mouse over the line separating A and B and double clicking. And now we've got all of our parts. Once we have those parts, we now need to go in and we need to assign those parts. So if we double click, they are automatically selected to pick one of the people. And so just go through and assign people the different parts. So you can look at the bill of materials. Anything that is birch is going to be laser cut. Everybody needs to laser cut at least one part. So part 1, 2, 8, and 10. You want to make sure that there's somebody for each of those. So if I put myself there, and then part 2 is going to be that person, and then part 8 is going to be that person, and part 10, I can make sure that everybody in my group is laser cutting at least one part. 3D printed, so parts 3 and 6 and 9 and 13. And again, everybody needs to make at least one 3D printed part, so make sure that you select a different person for each 3D printed part. And then the rest of the parts, we have some aluminum pieces, so somebody will be responsible to cut those. So you want somebody that is good at measuring and somebody that is interested in learning how to use the horizontal bandsaw. And then we also have fasteners, which will be, it makes sense to keep the washers and the screws the same person, and then the rivets somebody else, so that everybody can get all the fasteners attached and everything. And the rivets are just a type of fastener. So everybody needs to have that set up. And then the key thing is that we need to start our start dates for the different things. So if today was September 2nd and we're going to be doing 3D printing things today, then I will go through and find the 3D printed parts and go, okay, S indicates that we're starting that. And then tomorrow, when I come in, I look at, okay, the rear spacer. So I check with that person and they tell me, oh, I'm still working on it. Then they would select continue. And the day that they are done it, they will tell me I'm done, end it, the letter E. So start, continue, end. So you will work on this each day, and it's a matter of figuring out, everybody each day needs to have a job to work on. And if you assign a job, so let's say I've got this person doing the rear spacer, but the day that we're to start it, they're away, and I assign it to somebody else, then I need to go in and modify who was responsible for it. So everybody should get a variety of jobs. It should be balanced, and everybody should be working through all of the different components together. So that is how you use a Gantt chart. And at the end of the rubber band car, once it's finished, that's when you'll be uploading, you'll be clicking turned in. You can have the assignment ready to go in there, because as you modify it, I will be checking to see where you're at with it. So you want to make sure that you don't turn it in, because you're going to be modifying it as you go. But I want to be able to see it in Google Classroom so that I can refer to it, so that if you're away, I know who's supposed to work on what.